On the day my company went public, my boyfriend of 3 years finally came to propose marriage. But he wasn't proposing to me. Countless pieces of jewelry were laid out on the table, and cash-filled suitcases. Marcus held Chloe's hand. His eyes filled with detachment when he looked at me. Grace, you're nothing but a fake princess. You offer no help to my future career. Chloe is different. She's the heiress of the Hayes family. My brow furrowed, but he stepped forward, a look of helplessness on his face. Don't worry, Grace. While I can't give you legitimate status, I won't mistreat you. As long as you're obedient, I'll make time to be with you 2 days a week. Our engagement party is in 5 days. Be understanding these next few days, and I'll transfer the Northwood apartment to your name as compensation. Watching him, so smugly triumphant, my expression turned cold. There's trash in my house. Get rid of it immediately. How ridiculous. The family's billions were all earned by me. What does Chloe have to do with any of it? I had just successfully broken into the top 3 on Metropolis's list of top billionaires, only to have this trash show up and ruin my mood. Seeing the maid walk out with a broom, Marcus looked somewhat pleased. Grace, I know you love me deeply, but your status genuinely isn't a match for mine. After I marry, we corporations business together. Given how deeply you feel for me, I promise I won't treat you badly. With my company having just gone public, as its top executive, I found Marcus utterly laughable, like a frantic clown. Marcus, what makes you think that after you betray me and marry someone else, I'll still wait for you like a fawning lapdog? Marcus chuckled. We've been together for 3 years. Everyone knows how much you love me. The story of how you almost broke ties with the Hayes family's high society. Besides, if you, a fake heiress, were to leave me, you probably couldn't even secure a basic living. Marcus took a step closer, leaning into my ear, his voice laced with inducement. After I marry, I'll not only give you that Northwood apartment, but also provide you with a monthly living allowance of 100,000 yuan, plus 1 trip abroad each year. A cold smile touched my lips. So in his mind, I was nothing more than a woman who could be a kept woman with a bit of money. Back then, the Vance family, with their company on the verge of bankruptcy multiple times, Uncle and Aunt were worried Marcus would drag me down and didn't approve of us. It was only after I swore I'd stick by him through thick and thin that they agreed. I never imagined my deep affection was nothing more than a calculated scheme. Only 3 years passed before Chloe showed up with paternity test results, and Marcus immediately began to break off our engagement to marry Chloe instead. I confronted him about it, but he spoke with righteous conviction. Corporation. Once she inherits the business. Corporation. I'm doing this out of necessity. But don't worry, even if I marry Chloe, there will still be a place for you in my heart. I'll spend 2 days a week with you, and any child you have will be adopted out to Chloe, sharing in my inheritance rights. That very night. Corporation. If I hadn't corporation these past 3 years, a family like theirs would have long since vanished. Grace, I know you're still angry, but I believe you're smart enough to know what choice to make. A cold sensation touched my wrist as Marcus placed a bracelet on my hand. This is a gift I specially prepared for you. I'll be waiting for you at the Northwood apartment tonight. Consider it your compensation. I looked down at the bracelet. It was designed by a company under my ownership. It was just a free gift. A free gift given with the purchase of a necklace. And that very necklace was currently around Chloe's neck. My stomach churned, and I immediately ripped off the bracelet and flung it at his face. Get out of my house. Marcus looked at the bracelet I'd thrown on the floor, his face darkening. Grace, I'm only humoring you like this because I love you, but my patience has limits. If you keep causing trouble like this, corporation, you won't get anything. With that, Marcus turned and left, watchings retreating back. I felt nothing but utter disgust. I immediately took out my phone and called Liam. Issue a notice immediately, corporation withdrawn within 3 days. They must return all investment funds within 5 days. Any delay beyond that, and we'll see them in court. Also, inform the investment department, starting today. Corporation will be acting against Grace, and Oceanic will blacklist them permanently. Having done all that, I returned my gaze to the stock market updates on my computer. My assets had doubled in just 1 day. That evening, I had a meeting with Mr. Davies, Metropolis's top billionaire, to discuss a collaboration. As soon as I arrived at the Royal, I ran into Marcus and Chloe having drinks with friends. Marcus leaned against Chloe, a smug smile on his face when he saw me. I knew you'd regret it. I just didn't expect you to be so impatient as to chase me all the way to the club." I ignored him, turning to head towards the executive. Marcus stepped forward and blocked my path with his arm. "Grace, that's the executive behind you. In all of Metropolis, only the top 3 entrepreneurs on the list of top billionaires even qualify to book it. If you accidentally barge in and disturb the people inside, not even Uncle could save you." I gave Marcus a cold look, unimpressed by his provincial demeanor. Everyone in Metropolis knew that Royal's executive was reserved exclusively for Metropolis's most elite and powerful families. Those permitted entry represented not only immense wealth but also significant power. But what no one knew was that the entire Royal belonged to me. Chloe also stepped forward, reaching out to pretend intimacy as she looped her arm through mine. "Sister, I know you're still angry, but if you offend the people inside, even the Hayes family." I turned my head to look at Chloe's affected face, then disdainfully shook off her hand. "Seriously, even trash thinks it can touch me now." Thrown off, Chloe's face fell as she buried herself in Marcus's arms, crying aggrievedly. Marcus's face darkened, and he grabbed my wrist tightly. "Grace, I know you're still angry, but how dare a fake heiress like you lay a hand on Chloe? Apologize immediately." My knuckles popped, and my entire wrist swelled and turned red. "Let go. You're not worthy to speak to me like that." Hearing me, Marcus's eyes darkened. "Grace, have you still not sorted out your place? You're nothing but a fake heiress. The Hayes family. If you want to keep your current lifestyle, all you can do is appease Chloe." Appease? Expecting me, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company, to appease a shallow woman who only knows how to manipulate men? As I finished speaking, Chloe gently took Marcus's hand. "Marcus, it's natural for sister to hate me. If it weren't for my appearance, all of this would be hers." Seeing soft eyes, Marcus's heart melted, and he pulled her into his embrace. "Chloe, corporation. Grace is just a thief who stole someone else's life." Then's icy gaze turned to me. "Apologize." My expression also darkened. "What if I don't apologize?" Marcus hadn't expected such a strong stance from me, and his face grew even uglier. His friends around us were egging him on. "Marcus, if you can't even handle a fake heiress, corporation? Marcus, if you can't control her now, aren't you worried Grace will cause trouble at your engagement party in 5 days?" Chloe also pulled Marcus's hand, crying even more plaintively. "Marcus, if you really can't let go of sister, I can step aside for you both. But then, I corporation's business." Hearing say that, Marcus panicked instantly, casting an icy gaze at the bodyguards nearby. "Hold her down. I will make her apologize." As he spoke, 2 bodyguards immediately stepped forward. My gaze turned cold, and I raised my hand, striking one of the bodyguards across the face. "If any of you dare to touch me today, you'll disappear from Metropolis tomorrow." The 2 bodyguards exchanged glances, not daring to act. Marcus lost face, grabbed a nearby glass of alcohol, and forcefully splashed it at me. "Grace, wake up. Do you really still think you corporation?" The cold alcohol dripped down my cheek, instantly igniting my fury. I raised my hand, about to slap Marcus across the face, but he forcefully grabbed my hand the next second. "Grace, have I spoiled you too much, making you forget your place?" With that, he pulled me in front of Chloe, his other hand gripping the back of my neck, forcing my head down. "Apologize." I clenched my teeth, refusing to make a sound, but Marcus's grip was immensely strong. Just then, the door to the executive behind me suddenly opened, and a man walked out. "Ms. Grace, Mr. Hayes has been waiting for you." His words stunned everyone present. Marcus's face darkened. "When did you get to know the people in there?" Chloe, even more surprised, covered her mouth. "No wonder sister acts so fearless. Turns out she's hooked up with someone even more powerful than Marcus." Marcus's friends also started murmuring amongst themselves. I knew Grace loved Marcus so much. So why did she suddenly become so cold? Turns out she's a kept woman for someone else, being a mistress to one of Metropolis Corporation. "Marcus, your Northwood apartment doesn't even compare to what that person inside could offer." Listening to their chatter, Marcus's face turned ashen. "Grace, you dare to cheat on me behind my back? How could you degrade yourself like that?" Seeing lost his composure, I scoffed. "What? You're allowed to cheat on me, but I'm not allowed to cheat on you?" Hearing me say that, Marcus's face grew even darker. "Grace, how much money did that man pay you a month to make you willingly be his mistress? Aren't you afraid that once this gets out, You'll have no standing in Metropolis? I met Marcus's bloodshot eyes with a derisive smile. I seem to recall your face wasn't like this when you were making me an offer? Grace. Marcus clenched his fists tightly, looking on the verge of exploding. Marcus suppressed his rage, leaning into my ear. Break it off with him immediately. No matter how much he gives you a month, I'll give you double. I pushed him away in disgust. You can go in and tell him that yourself. I Corporation has the guts. With that, I ignored everyone's stares and walked directly into the executive. Marcus watched my retreating figure with a sinister gaze. Grace, if you dare go in there, once Chloe and I are married, I'll make sure you Corporation. I didn't hesitate. Once he and Chloe are engaged, I Corporation. 5 days later, my company successfully entered the overseas market. To celebrate, I booked an entire floor at the Oceanic Hotel to reward my employees. After wrapping up work at noon, I headed straight to the hotel. As soon as I entered, I saw Marcus in a formal suit standing at the entrance. Seeing me, Marcus approached with a look of knowing satisfaction. I knew you still couldn't let go of me, but let me warn you, today is my big day. My engagement. You'd better behave. Once today is over, I Corporation's prospective son-in-law, whatever that man can give you, I can give you double then. I glanced at the event banner placed nearby and only then realized that Marcus and Chloe's engagement party was also booked at this hotel, though theirs was booked in the cheapest banquet hall. I scoffed. You should save that meager sum for your banquet costs. Marcus's face darkened, and he forcefully pulled my hand. How many benefits did that person give you to make you so reluctant to leave him? Even if he treats you well, what does it matter? He can only keep you as a hidden mistress. But I'm different. I can give you love. You'll always have a place in my heart. I gave Marcus a cold look, a sarcastic smile on my face. Your love? I'd find it too filthy even in a trash can. Marcus gripped my hand tighter, his expression turning chilling. Grace, you'd better get your attitude straight. If I wasn't in your heart, why would you chase me all the way to this hotel today? It's because you can't let go of me. I struggled, trying to shake off his hand. Don't flatter yourself. I'm going to the 8th floor. Your banquet hall doesn't even match my status. Hearing 8th floor, Marcus paused, then chuckled softly. Grace, how did I never notice you were such a faker? I already asked the hotel management. Oceanic is hosting a celebration banquet on the 8th floor today. You, a mistress, actually want to go to the 8th floor? Do you want to be thrown out? I was almost driven to laughter by Marcus's sheer idiocy. Marcus, if your brain isn't working, go get it checked. Don't go biting people like a mad dog. With that, I started walking towards the elevator, but Marcus immediately stepped forward and blocked it. Grace, I'm doing this for your own good. You, a mistress, running into someone's business event and causing trouble, RN Corporation? Chloe has already gone to the parking lot to pick up uncle and aunt. When they arrive, if they find out about you, they'll surely kick you out of the family. Watching his seemingly earnest demeanor, I felt sick to my stomach. Fine, you can go ahead and tell them all about me then. Let's see if they dare to kick me out. Seeing that I was unyielding, Marcus completely lost his patience and forcefully tugged at my hand, trying to drag me away. If you dare go to the 8th floor today, you Corporation down. I absolutely cannot let you ruin Chloe's and my engagement party today. I'll have someone take you home. Once today is over, and everything has settled, I'll send you to the Northwood apartment. You can be my mistress from then on. I won't mistreat you. As he finished speaking, the elevator doors chimed open. Liam, my assistant, rushed out of the elevator towards me. MS. Grace, everyone has arrived. We're just waiting for you to go on stage and give your speech. Marcus froze, his gaze at me turning to panic. Oceanic's assistant just called you what? I looked at Marcus with a cold gaze, as if he were an idiot. Are you deaf? Marcus fiercely yanked my hand, his eyes cold and vicious. So, you've hooked up with Oceanic's CEO. No wonder you're so arrogant. Marcus only knew Oceanic was one of Metropolis's top 3 enterprises, but he didn't realize that both corporation he spoke of and Oceanic belonged to me. But I'm telling you, what if you have hooked up with Oceanic? They're just using you as a plaything. They'll kick you to the curb when they get bored. I'm different. My feelings for you are genuine. I met Marcus's narrow eyes with a soft laugh. Save your meager genuine feelings for your Chloe. I find them disgusting. Marcus gripped my hand tightly, his eyes bloodshot, filled with a dangerous warning. Grace, I've already shown you enough consideration. The people who are keeping you don't even know you're just a fake heiress. Corporation. How many people do you think would even give you the time of day? I struggled to shake off his hand, looking at Marcus's sickening face. Marcus, do you think everyone is like you? Seeing me caught, Liam immediately stepped forward and gripped Marcus's shoulder. Ms. Grace, should I call the hotel manager to handle this? I nodded, informed the hotel manager that I've booked the entire venue for today. All unauthorized personnel are to be escorted out. Corporation. Liam immediately went to make arrangements after hearing my command, and Marcus's face grew even darker. Grace, do you really think you're someone important just because you've latched onto a rich man? Do you know that a single banquet table at the Oceanic Hotel costs 100,000 yuan? To book the entire venue today would cost tens of millions. Corporation, as wealthy as they are, would let a fake heiress like you squander money like that. As he finished speaking, Liam returned quickly, accompanied by the hotel manager. Ms. Grace, our arrangements today were subpar. Corporation's people out immediately. Marcus's face darkened when he heard the hotel manager speak like that. Do you know who I am? Corporation's daughter. My future in-laws will be here soon. Even Group CEO would have to show them some respect. Who do you think you are? To his surprise, the hotel manager was not intimidated at all. Instead of wasting words with him, he directly removed Marcus's event banner and threw it out of the hotel. Seeing this, Marcus's relatives and friends rushed forward, asking what was happening. Marcus, did you not even book a spot at the Oceanic Hotel? Getting kicked out on your big day is incredibly embarrassing. Marcus, if you can't even sort out a hotel, how will you ever win over your future in-laws? Kicked out of the hotel on your big engagement day? If this gets out, people will be roaring with laughter. Marcus lost face. His expression turned vicious as he pointed at me. Grace, you're a mistress being kept by someone. What right do you have to kick us out of here? With that, he took another step forward and whispered in my ear. Grace, today is Chloe's and my engagement party. If you insist on causing trouble like this, when uncle arrives and wants to throw you out of the family, I won't speak up for you. As he finished speaking, the hotel doors were pushed open, and uncle and aunt walked in, supported by Chloe, having just returned from their trip. Both of them instantly paled when they saw Marcus was the groom. Marcus, thinking their darkened expressions were because of me, immediately stepped forward. Uncle, aunt, today was supposed to be Chloe's and my big day, but Grace insisted on causing trouble. Not only is she a mistress, but she's also trying to kick us out of the Oceanic Hotel. Uncle and aunt's expressions turned grim upon hearing this. Are you out of your mind? Marcus looked at me somewhat smugly. Grace, I already warned you. You didn't listen. When you're kicked out of the family, don't come crawling back to me. No sooner had Marcus finished speaking than Uncle slapped him forcefully across the face. I think you're insane. How dare you treat our Grace like that, and even cheat on her? Marcus clutched his swollen face, instantly dumbfounded. Chloe was also stunned. She rushed forward to support Marcus, then looked at Uncle with a grim expression. Dad, have you lost your mind? I'm your biological daughter. How can you hit your own prospective son-in-law for an outsider? Uncle glared fiercely at Chloe. Don't call me Dad. I don't have a shameless daughter like you who ruins other people's relationships. Chloe was utterly bewildered, turning her gaze to Aunt. Mom, look. Dad is saying such things about me for a fake heiress. I'm your biological daughter. Corporation. Aunt's face darkened. She walked directly to me, giving Chloe a cold look. If I had known you were this kind of person, I never would have let you into this family. Chloe's eyes widened, filled with disbelief. You're treating me like this for a fake heiress? She clearly usurped my identity and made me suffer for so many years. Yet now you're siding with her. Aunt ignored Chloe, turning instead to look at me. Grace, you've been wronged. You should have told us sooner. We would have come back to deal with this good-for-nothing a long time ago. Meeting Eleanor's concerned expression, I instantly understood. They had chosen to side with me. After all, they clearly understood the difference between temporary wealth and lifelong prosperity. Watching this scene, Marcus lost all his initial arrogance. What do you mean? Chloe is your biological daughter. How can you treat her like this? Are you really going to let a fake heiress inherit all your assets? Uncle looked at Marcus with a puzzled expression. What assets? Chloe hastily stepped forward and clung to Uncle's arm. Dad, I'm your biological daughter. Naturally, all the family assets should be inherited by me, right? Uncle's gaze darkened, and he forcefully shook off Chloe's hand. What nonsense are you spouting? Everything in this family belongs to Grace. What does it have to do with you? It's Grace's kindness that allows you to live here and enjoy your current life. And you still dream of inheriting the family business? Are you insane? Chloe was pushed to the ground, her face completely losing composure. What do you mean? You won't let me inherit the business, but you'd give it to Grace. An outsider? Marcus also looked completely bewildered. I've never seen parents like you, giving billions in family wealth to a fake heiress instead of your own biological daughter. Ant looked at the two of them as if they were fools. What fake heiress or true heiress? Even if Chloe is our biological daughter, these assets are not hers to inherit. Chloe, still unyielding, took another step forward. I've never seen such cruel parents. It's bad enough you let me be swapped at birth and suffer for over 20 years. But now you're giving all the assets to an outsider? Ant shook her head, looking at Chloe's incorrigible demeanor. The family's assets were all earned by Grace. Why should they be inherited by you? As Eleanor's words fell, the entire room erupted. What? Grace is actually the true mastermind behind everything? So went to all that trouble to break off his engagement and marry someone else, only for it all to be for nothing? He cast aside a true powerhouse for a piece of scrap metal. Marcus's face instantly turned green. His eyes were filled with shock as he stared at me. How could this be? Corporation? I looked at him and scoffed. If only you had bothered to understand me a little more back then, you would have realized I'm far more than what you saw. Chloe, utterly distraught, collapsed onto the floor. This is impossible. This must be an excuse you fabricated to let Grace inherit the business. You can't do this to me. I'm clearly the true heiress. Grace is nothing but a fake heiress. Ant looked at her and shook her head coldly. Originally, if you had just behaved yourself, we could have ensured you a comfortable life. But unfortunately, you were too greedy. We can only send you away. Never return to Metropolis again. Chloe panicked instantly, clutching Ant's sleeve tightly, unwilling to let go. You can't do this to me. I'm your biological daughter. For the sake of our blood ties, you can't treat me like this. Ant, however, directly pushed her hand away. Someone as ungrateful as you would only be an ungrateful wretch even if we kept you close. Don't worry. We'll give you a sum of money. You won't starve. Chloe, seeing Ant's resolute face, fell into complete despair. She could only turn her gaze to Marcus. Marcus, you won't abandon me, will you? Marcus avoided her gaze, his face grim. We're not officially engaged yet. Your affairs have nothing to do with me. Only is in my heart. Chloe froze, then lunged forward, her face contorted with rage, fiercely grabbing Marcus's collar. Marcus, what do you mean by this? You're going to break off our engagement for that despicable woman Grace? Marcus forcefully flung Chloe's hand away, looking at her with utter disdain. Break off our engagement? Grace was the one I was originally engaged to. I'm just putting everything back on track. Chloe, like a madwoman, clung tightly to Marcus's hand, refusing to let go. Marcus, you didn't say that when you were in my bed. You said Grace was lifeless in bed, like a dead fish, and that I was your true love. As her words fell, a sharp slap echoed. Marcus slapped Chloe hard across the face. Shut up. My true love is Grace. From beginning to end, she's the only one I've ever loved. Chloe clutched her swollen face, glaring savagely at Marcus. You can't do this to me. I've lost everything. You can't treat me like this too. Marcus disgustedly shoved Chloe to the ground. Get away from me. We're over. With that, Marcus looked at me with a profound expression of affection. Grace, you're the only one I've loved from the very beginning. If hadn't seduced me first, I never would have done something so foolish. Grace, I know there's still a place for me in your heart. Please forgive me this time, okay? I looked up at Marcus's hopeful eyes and slapped him hard across the face. I don't scavenge for trash. Marcus clutched his face, staring at me in disbelief, a flicker of panic in his eyes. Grace, I know you're still angry. I swear I'll be devoted to you from now on. I'll spend the rest of my life making amends for the mistakes I've made. I scoffed. All you offer is unwanted trash. If you have time for that, you corporation owes Oceanic. As I finished speaking, the main doors were pushed open, and Marcus's assistant rushed in, panicked. Mr. Vance, it's terrible. The family, our company's cash flow is broken. We've just declared bankruptcy, and Oceanic is demanding immediate repayment of all outstanding debts. The court summons has already been delivered to the company. Marcus froze, staggering back a few steps. How could this happen? Marcus fell to his knees with a thud, looking at me almost pleadingly. Grace, I know I was wrong. I know you're furious right now, but once you've calmed down, you'll take me back. Won't you? I don't want you to do anything you'll regret. I looked down at Marcus's sickening face and let out a soft laugh. Marcus, who gave you the confidence to think you could make me regret anything? With that, I gave Liam a direct look. Clear out all unnecessary people. Don't delay the company's celebration banquet. Liam immediately called for several bodyguards to clear the area. I turned to walk towards the elevator. Several prominent figures from Metropolis were attending the banquet today, and I couldn't be late. Marcus was escorted out by bodyguards, shouting frantically at my retreating back. Grace, you can't do this to me. I love you. But I didn't even turn my head. Chloe was also shoved out. Unwilling to accept it, she shouted at uncle and aunt. You old fools. You can't do this to me. I'm your biological daughter. Aren't you afraid you'll be struck down by lightning for this? But the only response she got was the sound of the doors closing. Marcus's relatives and friends who had come for the engagement party were also kicked out, their faces all ashen. He used to act high and mighty, but it turns out he was only propped up by Grace's investments. In short, he's just a kept man. He couldn't even live off a woman's wealth properly. You couldn't seize this opportunity. What a loser. Penny wise and pound foolish. Marcus must be writhing with regret now, listening to their taunts. Marcus scrambled to his feet, roaring fiercely at them. What do you know? Grace is just angry right now. Once she calms down, she'll definitely take me back. Chloe stood nearby, scoffing as she watched Marcus. Don't you understand? This was all Grace's plan. She was just waiting for today to humiliate us. Why else would she also choose this place for her celebration banquet? Marcus looked at Chloe with disgust and slapped her hard across the face. Despicable woman. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have lost everything. And you still dare to slander Grace here? With that, Marcus gazed at the closed doors. I will definitely make Grace change her mind. Corporation's bankruptcy spread quickly, kicked while he was down. Corporation. Overnight. The Vance family. Corporation's mansion for 3 days and 3 nights. But I wouldn't even open the door to see him. Later, he ran to every bank in Metropolis, only to be turned away at each one. Marcus sat broken and despairing outside the bank. The rain poured down, and he looked like a defeated vagrant. Just then, a Maybach sped past, splashing water onto Marcus. They stopped in front of the bank. The door opened, and Chloe stepped out, smirking triumphantly, her arm linked with Walter. Well, isn't it the renowned Mr. Vance? How did you end up like this? Do you want me to spare some change? Chloe used her heels to lift Marcus's chin. Didn't you confidently swear you'd make that despicable woman Grace change her mind? How did you end up like this? Marcus glared fiercely at Chloe. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this situation. What right do you have to be kicking him while he's down? Marcus suddenly stood up from the ground, just as he was about to make a move. Walter, the man beside Chloe, kicked Marcus hard in the chest. Who gave you the guts to touch my woman? Do you really still think you're the high and mighty Mr. Vance you once were? Walter put his arm around Chloe. The fat on his face jiggled incessantly. Marcus clenched his fists. Chloe, you actually degraded yourself to become a mistress for someone? Have you no shame? Chloe shrugged indifferently. I'm just doing what I need to for a better life. When you thought Grace was a fake heiress, didn't you consider keeping her? Chloe looked at him with a derisive smile, then stepped on Marcus's face with her foot. Marcus, you brought all this upon yourself. Chloe was about to leave when Marcus immediately lunged to her feet, desperately grabbing her leg. You can't leave. You ruined me. How can you live so guilt-free after what you've done? Chloe looked down at Marcus. She brought her heel down on his head, the slender point almost piercing his skin. Marcus, you have nothing left. What makes you think you can fight me? You're just a dog in the gutter now. Anyone can kick you around. After saying this, Chloe wrapped her arms around the man. Darling, don't we have more important things to do? The man slapped Chloe's backside. You truly are a tempting siren. No wonder Marcus gave up Grace, that golden goose. For you. Their mocking laughter filled the air. Marcus clenched his fists. I won't let you get away with this. The cold night wind swept by. Marcus followed the Maybach, located Chloe and the man, and under the cover of darkness, slipped into a mansion. Inside, the sounds of moaning continued. Marcus quietly approached the man from behind with a rope. He then slipped the rope around the man's neck and pulled it tight with force. Ah! Help! Chloe shrieked hysterically, staring at Marcus's distorted, terrifying face. The man's entire face turned purple from lack of air. Help me. The man kept reaching out to Chloe, hoping she would help him. Chloe just stared blankly as Marcus strangled the man until he couldn't speak, then watched him swallow his last breath, eyes wide. Marcus kicked the man's corpse aside, then stepped on his back. You looked down on me, didn't you? I'll show you just how ruthless Marcus can be. Chloe, seeing Marcus's crazed demeanor, quietly shuffled her feet, trying to crawl away. The next second, Marcus violently grabbed Chloe's hair, his eyes fixated on her with fierce intensity. You loved seducing men, didn't you? Why aren't you seducing anyone now? Did you really think you could ruin my life like this and just get away? Chloe knelt on the ground, begging for mercy. I was wrong, Marcus. Please forgive me this one time, okay? I just wanted a better life. What did I do wrong? Smack. Marcus slapped Chloe hard across the face. Your biggest mistake was not understanding the Hayes family's situation, thinking you could replace Grace, and ruining me like this. Chloe ignored her swollen face and desperately clutched Marcus's hand. I'm sorry, Marcus. I truly understand my mistake. Please let me off this one time, okay? I'm the real heir to the Hayes family after all. My parents won't truly abandon me. Whatever you want, I can help you get it. Chloe repeatedly slammed her head against the ground, fresh blood slowly trickling down her forehead. Marcus grabbed Chloe's throat, his eyes blood-red like an emissary from hell. Help me? You, who has nothing. What could you possibly do to help me? Chloe looked at Marcus's terrifying gaze, the fear in her eyes growing. Marcus, do you really think you're such a good person? Everything that happened today is your own doing. If you hadn't been so greedy and brainless, you wouldn't be in this situation. You claimed to love Grace, but ultimately, you only loved her assets. Chloe, giving up all hope, pointed at Marcus and cursed him wildly. Marcus's eyes grew increasingly wild. No, I didn't. It was all your instigation. Otherwise I wouldn't be in this mess today. You're the real culprit. Marcus grabbed Chloe's hair and, without hesitation, slammed her head onto the coffee table. With a crack, the coffee table shattered, and crimson blood streamed from Chloe's head. Chloe struggled to get up, but Marcus simply stomped his foot onto her chest. I told you, I wouldn't let you get away with this. As his words faded, a cold glint flashed, and the person beneath him stopped breathing entirely. Marcus looked at the scene before him, a sinister smile playing on his lips. He then lit the lighter and dropped the flame onto the gasoline-soaked floor. Flames erupted, and in a single night, 3 lives were lost. When I received the news, I was sitting in the executive, signing a billion-dollar project contract with Mr. Davies, MS. Grace, you are truly young and accomplished. My son, Noah, just turned 30 today and has admired your brilliance for a long time. If you're interested, MS. Grace, you could meet him. Should our 2 families combine forces, we could undoubtedly open up the overseas market completely. I smiled and shook Mr. Davies's hand. Sounds good. Since pure affection wasn't an option, maximizing profit was the only way. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support is the greatest motivation for us to share more stories of women's power. This is Love and Fist.